Hello, ladies. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up our discussion from Tuesday that we didn't quite get to. We finished by talking about the aspects of an Anglo-Saxon king. So a good king needs to be courageous yet giving, and that's that whole idea of comitatus. So now that we know that, let's go ahead and look at the second page of Beowulf, and we're going to figure out what exactly Hrothgar starts to do towards the end of this section. So we know that the fortunes of war favored Hrothgar. So like his, great-grandfather, he was very successful in battle, and he was a good king because of that. So since Hrothgar has been so successful in battle, he decides that he is going to build a great mead hall, and we see that in line 69. And he calls this mead hall Herot. And like you can see on your Beowulf cheat sheet, Herot means heart. So this mead hall is going to be the heart of his kingdom. And I just want to give you something to think about. When we try to hurt people and you really want to, destroy someone, what do you go for? And the answer to that, obviously, is that you go for their heart. That is where you're able to hurt someone the most. So if someone, say a monster, because this is an epic tale, if someone wants to hurt Hrothgar and the Danes, where would they attack? So just start thinking about that as we proceed and read a bit more of Beowulf. We learn that Herot is the Hall of Halls when it's finished. So it's big and it's glorious and it's beautiful. The author writes that the halls towered, its gables wide and high. So at this point, I want to go ahead and direct your attention to these last 4 lines of this section. It reads, "Its gables wide and high, and awaiting a barbarous burning. That doom abided, but in time it would come. The killer instinct unleashed among in-laws, the bloodlust rampant." So these lines are very interesting. We have words like barbarous burning, the doom abided, bloodlust rampant, the killer instinct. This is definitely a shift from what the author has been talking about so far. Prior to this, he was describing how great this hall was. It was wide and high, the Hall of Halls. It was beautiful. And then all of a sudden we have this section, which is very dark and scary. And all of a sudden, things seem like they're going to go wrong. So what do we call this when the author is warning us about something that is going to happen, maybe something bad? It could be something good, but in this case, it is something bad. What is that literary device? So, as you probably know, that literary device is, in fact, foreshadowing. So the author is foreshadowing the eventual destruction of Herot. Another literary device I want to bring to your attention is juxtaposition, and that is a bit difficult to spell and to pronounce, but that's the literary device where the author contrasts 2 very different things. So here, the author is contrasting how amazing the Hall of Herot is, and then all of a sudden, we read about a barbarous burning, doom abided. So we have something really good, and it's smushed right up next to something really bad. The gables were wide and high, and it was great, but they awaited a barbarous burning. So that's juxtaposition. And right here, specifically, we have the juxtaposition of glory and destruction. So Herot was great, but destruction was sure to come. So that contrast, we call that juxtaposition. And finally, these 4 lines here are an example of the theme of transience. And transience basically means that all things will pass. Everything is temporary. And that's going to be a very popular theme in Beowulf. The idea that nothing lasts forever and everything is temporary. So the theme of transience. So even Herot, this beautiful hall that seems perfect in every way, it won't last forever. It eventually will come to a barbarous burning. Doom will enter the hall, and the glory of this hall will not last forever. So that's the theme of transience. So be on the lookout for that as we continue to read Beowulf. Okay, well, that wraps it up, and hopefully you were able to follow along and finish our discussion from Tuesday. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you girls next class. Bye.